Hello guys and welcome to the Armageddon. Your host here, Alucard. Hope you guys are doing good today. I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded a video, and this is going to be basically explaining why. I don't expect everyone to sit through this, and obviously I don't have very many subscribers at all. I'm still just starting out. But I want to kind of explain what's been going on, and I'm sorry this is probably going to be a little lengthy, but well, the very first thing I should do is I should apologize. I haven't been doing content. I really regret it, and truthfully, my head hasn't been in it. There's a lot of YouTubers that just will say, I've been depressed lately and I haven't felt like it. That's very true for me, but I'm going to go into some details why. If you sit through the whole thing, I appreciate it. If you guys just watch a little bit of it, that's amazing as well. So I'll try and keep it as brief as I can, but I really want to explain to you guys why I haven't been uploading, and to get out of the way, I am going to be uploading again very, very shortly. I'm planning on being a lot more active again, but let me explain what's been going on. And I do apologize that there has been any content on my channel. I want to make it a career or hobby. Not really a hobby. I do want a career out of it. So anyway, basically, let me explain something to you guys. I used to have a really good job, like a long time ago, and I was kind of stupid. Well, at the time I wasn't really stupid. Like, I thought, I have a good job, so I want to build my credit. I got me a brand new car, got me a couple credit cards, loan, whatever. I was doing doing a job that I was getting like $23 an hour, whatever. I was like, I can afford it. I want to build some credit. Everything was good for a while until like the job started to dry up. What it was basically asbestos and lead removal, which I was in a union, and the union, of course, found work for me. Well, and the first few years was great. I was making a lot of money, right? And I was happy as could be. Well, suffice to say, stuff started to dry up. There was more and more times where I had to do unemployment between jobs, and the work was not consistent anymore, and even so, the traveling was starting to become a hassle, because like sometimes, they'd be like, hey, I know you haven't worked in like, a month, maybe longer sometimes. It's like, hey, I got a job for you. And I'm like, cool. How long is it for? And it might be only a 2 or 3 day job. Okay, fine. That kind of sucks. I don't know if I want to like mess up my unemployment just for a job. So anyway, like I said, it just wasn't consistent. So that led me to leaving the union and trying to get a regular job. Unfortunately, it took me over a year, I think right at a year and a half, I believe, before I even could get a job. And in that time, my like savings I had set aside because of car payment, because of credit card, went through all of it, because I never in a million years thought it would take a year and a half to get another job. So I get another job. It was a retail store, but it's minimum wage, so not great, right? So I'm doing the best I can. I work there right at 2 years. I had one more month to go, and I would have been there at 2 years. Well, I left this job because I had another opportunity come up, better pay. So, and I should mention, this whole time, minimum wage job, it didn't really help. I mean, it helped, but it didn't really pay back my bills I had accumulated when I had the good job. I was behind on my car payment by like 2 months, 3 months. At one point, I had it repossessed. I had to borrow money. I really couldn't afford to pay it back. I should also mention, before I transferred to a new job, I ended up picking up a second job, a part-time job, another retail job. So between two jobs, I was working 60 hours a week, right? And I started to make a little bit of headway, started to pay my bills enough to where they were caught up. So anyway, I transferred from this retail job to a company that specialized in like janitorial services. It was they had a contract at our local college. Better pay, better opportunity. So I was like, I gotta do what I gotta do, because at this time I had worked two jobs, 60 hours a week. I want to say, yeah, right at 7 months, and I was just getting burnt out, killing myself for very little pay. Minimum wage at the part-time job and barely above minimum wage at the full-time job. So anyway, transferred to this new job, still working my second job, I might add, because I was working my way up to being able to quit my part-time job. So I started this company. Everything's great, at first. So this supervisor, I find out very quickly the kind of person she is, and it's not a very good one. I don't want to go into all the details, but if you guys want to hear it, maybe I'll do a more specific detail analysis. I just want to kind of give you guys a brief thing. Suffice to say, the supervisor's not a good person. She backstabs people. If you don't watch yourself, you're gone. At first, when I first started the job, she would tell me I was doing a good job every day. Man, I don't have to watch you. I know you're doing your job, what have you. I worked at the college overnight doing cleaning, and a position opened up for the day shift, because the college wanted someone there during the day. That way, if anything popped up, they could, have someone. Well, my supervisor, she said, I want you to have the position. It was higher pay and a lot more responsibility, because you're representing the company by yourself. It was only going to be one person on days. She would pop in there from time to time, between both shifts. So anyway, I told her, okay. Well, at first I told her I didn't want to do that, because I had just rearranged my part-time job to work with the nighttime schedule and, whatnot. At first I said no, because I like working at night. Well, then she came back. She's like, hey, I really want you to do the daytime position, because you're the only one I really trust to do it. You're a good worker, whatever. I ended up taking the position. I get a decent raise, 75-cent raise, so it's nothing to, overlook. And, stuff's alright, but, I started to already see at this point in time the kind of supervisor she was. There was another worker there that she mistreated, horribly. I'm talking about ridiculous stuff. And the more my supervisor overreacted on stuff, and the more she acted like a 5-year-old kid, I decided I'm going to stop being friendly to this person. Now, I was professional towards her, but I didn't go out my way to hold a conversation with her like I had before, because I seen exactly how she was. So anyway, she ends up getting curious enough one day and asked me what was going on, because she had noticed I was acting a little bit different towards her, because like I said, I didn't do small chats with her anymore. Just, if it was to do with the work, I would talk to her. So anyway, she asked me, and I told her, you want me to be honest with you? And she said, yeah, I want you to be honest what's going on. And she said that it was going to be between me and her, this conversation. And I flat out told her the way she ran stuff was a complete joke, and she was acting like a 5-year-old holding a grudge towards people. One person specifically, I don't want to go into detail, but basically she held a grudge against this worker and ended up forcing this worker to leave. Of course, she disagreed with me and told me, you know, I was wrong, but that's basically what it was, is I gave her my honest opinion that the way she was running the job was basically a joke. She was holding grudges like a little kid. That's all I freaking said. And my sister works for this company as well, I should mention. So anyway, I told her my professional opinion and left it at that because she asked my opinion. I gave it to her. I thought that was it. Well, come to find out, as soon as I gave her this opinion or our talk, I find out that she had called her supervisor and told him that she may have a problem with a worker. After she specifically told me to tell her what was going on. And that's all I did. I gave her her opinion and left it at that. This is where it really kind of started to get bad. So all of a sudden it went from, I'm doing a good job. Because, see, originally when I was put on day shift, she didn't give me any instructions. She's like, hey, I know you work. Use your best judgment. Keep busy. And I did. And I got very good praise from the college saying that I was doing a good job. They couldn't believe, you know, all the stuff I was doing, detailed work, and they were telling her, you know, I kept busy, and they were really impressed. So, you know, I had always gotten praise. Well, after this little conversation I had with my supervisor, all of a sudden it turned into, you're not doing your job, you are not doing a good job, what the hell are you doing, you know, what are you doing every day to fill your time, basically. So it's kind of funny. I got praised, and then all of a sudden, just because, you know, I give my opinion, you try and stand up for the other workers, all of a sudden I'm a shit worker, right? So, whatever. It's like if she wants to hold a grudge like a little kid, whatever. Well, she kept on me over and over again, like, you know, she'd like kind of poke me, like she started leaving like little notes on tasks for me to do, stuff I already did. She kept adding more and more stuff to these tasks. And some of the tasks she wanted me to do didn't make any damn sense at all. Like, there's a lot of details, but basically, you know, she had told me certain responsibilities I was supposed to do every day, and then all of a sudden she would bitch at me when I did the responsibilities she had already told me to do, or make sure I did every single day. Whatever. The next big thing that happened was she had asked me like 3 weeks in advance, a little over 3 weeks, because the college was having like this heritage festival, and it was going to be some overtime over the weekend. She had asked me more than 3 weeks in advance, did I want to work it? And I said, yeah, absolutely, I need the money. So, you know, whatever. Well, a couple days before the festival was to happen, I want to say like no more than 4 or 5 days, week at most, she tells me, oh, by the way, you can't work the festival, you can only work one day because the company tells me that you're not allowed overtime. And I was like, why are they saying that? You know, and she's like, well, the company can get in trouble. And I told her, no, that's not true. The only time a company can get, you know, in trouble on overtime is if they force you to work it and you did not agree to do it. If you agree to do overtime, then, you know, they're not liable. They're perfectly fine. So I told her that's not true. I mean, and she's like, well, it's too bad, you know. That's what the company says. And I was like, you told me you were going to let me work them 2 days. It's just like, well, that's what the company says, whatever. Oh, and I should mention the only other time you can't get in trouble for overtime is, like a factory job where you sign, your papers and they tell you, hey, there will be mandatory overtime, which this wasn't the case. So anyway, like I said, I volunteered for this over 3 weeks ago, and then I go home, I do some research, I print out the exact papers, labor laws, saying that, as long as I volunteered for the work, it's completely legit, it's fine. Give these to her the very next day, and she's like, oh, okay, I'll check into this for you. She told me she was going to. Well, as soon as I leave, when the night crew comes in, my sister, and I should say, my sister told me a lot of this stuff because another thing the supervisor sucked at was being confidential. She talked about stuff she shouldn't have to all the workers. But anyway, as soon as I leave, the papers with her, I find out that she offered my second day at the festival to another worker after she quote unquote told me that she would check, with the company and whatnot. So I end up having to call the company or corporate / I end up actually talking to HR as well about her and straightening this stuff out because, I told them this was bullshit. I had, volunteered for these 2 days like 3 weeks in advance, and then all of a sudden I wasn't being allowed to work it. I'm sorry, guys. This still frustrates me so much. Anyway, so like I said, I called the company on her. I end up getting, it worked out to where they're like, yeah, you can work them 2 days, Then, okay, so the 2 days was going to be a Saturday and a Sunday. So the really big thing that ended up happening is this happened on Friday, right before the 2 days that I can work at the festival. She calls me into a back room. Basically, it's just me and her. She tells me she has to talk to me about something. And she told me that the college had they bring up an issue with her, and they said, see, I don't know if this is true because this woman I cannot trust. But anyway, she told me they had mentioned that I kind of smelled bad the other day, and I should be more professional. Which I told her I probably did smell a little bit because the day before I had worked a double, both jobs, and at the college, I was literally on my freaking hands and knees cleaning out a huge auditorium that she, of course, told me I had to do, like vacuuming underneath all the seats and getting all the trash. It was complete BS. But basically, she wanted it done that day. So I was on my hands and knees, and it took so long, and I was sweating and whatnot, and then I had to go to my second job, and then after the end of the day on my second, job, when I got home, I crashed. Usually I took a shower either of the night or like the next morning. Well, I ended up crashing, and then the next day I didn't have time because I had to go straight in. So I had told her, I'm like, yeah, I probably did smell a little bit, so sorry about that. And, it happened. I was wore out. Stuff happens sometimes, so... So anyway, I told her that it's kind of freaking annoying, I work my ass off and they're complaining about that, but I can understand it. And then all of a sudden she started saying weird stuff like, I feel like you're being a little hostile towards me. And I was like, no, I'm a little bit upset about the situation because it's embarrassing, and two, it's just a really awkward situation to be in. I mean, like when someone, especially your boss, is telling you, oh, they were complaining about, how you smelled, whatnot. So I was a little upset, but, I had reason to be. Well, anyway, she kept saying the same stuff. Like, I feel like you're being hostile. And then I was like, no. I'm like, is there something wrong? I'm like, you sound like you're trying to get me to overreact or something. She's like, no. And then all of a sudden she said, is there anything you'd like? Oh, and another thing she kept bringing up in the conversation was she kept like, you know what, if you want to go behind my back and call the company or HR, that's perfectly fine. She kept saying that, so I knew she was being pissy because I'm having to do that. And then she, like, towards the end of the conversation said that, is there anything I need to bring up to her? I was like, okay, yeah, there is something because you keep mentioning that I called behind your back, and I told her, I'm like, I had, I did that because it was the last thing I could do, because you did try and rectify this overtime you had promised me. I gave you the paperwork, you promised you were going to, like, talk to the company, and then you go behind my back and offer the work to someone else. And then all of a sudden she's like, I never promised you that you could work that. And I said, what are you talking about? Yeah, you did. You asked me specifically 3 weeks in advance because you wanted me to work it. See, I knew exactly what she was doing. She was covering her ass. All of a sudden, because it's going to make her look bad if she said that she had promised something to a worker, but she was already covering her ass. And I told her, no, that's not true. Why are you lying? I said, and I wasn't raising my voice or anything. I just caught her in a freaking lie, and I was pointing out, and I'm like, why are you freaking lying right now? Well, that pissed her off, and she's like, you know what, this conversation's done. All I said was, no, it's not done, because you told me if I had any issues, I needed to tell them, and I have a big issue because you're trying to cover your ass right now, and you're straight out lying about something we had. That's all I freaking said. Well, the next thing I know, she told me she was going to write me up for insubordination, and by the end of the day, me and her was going to discuss why I was being wrote up. Well, I told her, I did cuss a little bit, but not really. I basically said, to hell I am. I'm not going to talk to you about anything, and I'm certainly not going to sign anything, because there's no way in hell that you can write me up for insubordination when I was doing something you told me to. And then after that, she told me to go straight home. She's like, you're leaving right now. So I told her, there was all kinds of names I wanted to call her. But, I did, the only thing I messed up is, I said, you can fuck off. That's all I said. Because you know what? I've never been row up. Ever. Even when I was doing asbestos, I did between 100 and 150 different job sites before I left the union. I was never row up. Yeah, sure, everyone gets pissed off at the workplace, but, I always maintained it. So it pissed me off that she was going to write me up for the fact that I caught her in a lie, and I was basically... Because, see, one thing about me is I'll be respectful as long as you're respectful to me, but I don't take bullshit. And especially when you're holding a grudge against me because I had the balls to basically call you out as a supervisor, grow up. Don't be a 5-year-old. So anyway, I did say, to hell I am. And that's about all. So she tells me to go straight home. So I leave. The very next day I show up for the festival. Show up, start to clock in, and she catches me and says, you need to leave. And I said, I'm supposed to work today, remember? She's like, no, you need to leave now. I said, what's going on? She doesn't say anything. Nothing. She goes to the security office, and I get escorted out by the security guard. Yeah. Talk about fucking embarrassing. I'm sorry for my language, by the way. It's just... this has caused me so much problems, and I'm getting ready to explain the meat of this stuff. So I get escorted out by the security guard. The whole time she has never told me what the heck's going on. So I leave. I don't bother to go in Sunday because I imagine it's going to be the same thing. So I wait till Monday to call the home office to report her, talk to HR to figure out what's going on. Well, all of a sudden, come to find out, I'm fired. Yeah. The person I talked to in HR says that I was fired Friday because of my behavior towards my supervisor and misconduct. Funny thing is, my supervisor did not tell me I was fired Friday. She told me to leave, and she twisted it around to make it sound bad to the company. This freaking childish-ass supervisor told the company that I had cussed at my supervisor and I had cussed in front of the customers, which would be, people that work for the college or the people that was there for the festival, which was a freaking lie. The whole conversation I had with my supervisor was in a back room. It was just us. So yeah, the company ends up telling me I was fired Friday, and I said, well, first of all, I didn't do anything wrong, and second of all, me cussing in front of people, that's a freaking lie. I didn't do that. I talked to HR for a while, and they just told me, they'll do some checking in on the situation. So anyway, I give it a couple days. I end up driving up to St. Louis, which is about 2.5 hours away from me, to the home office. I go there and talk to HR directly because, I want my side of the story known. I end up telling this woman everything about the supervisor. I spent over an hour discussing every little thing that happened. And guys, there's so much more that I haven't even told you with this supervisor. That's freaking ridiculous. But anyway, and there's people that will validate this. There's people that will validate this. My sister being one, and several of the other workers would tell about the supervisor. So I talked to the HR department for over an hour. And then the woman's like, well, I tell you what, we're going to have the supervisor, or not the supervisor, I'm sorry, the district manager or regional manager, I can't remember now. Either way, the person that's over my supervisor, they will contact you, and we will definitely do a more thorough investigation. Well, guess what? I never heard from the district manager, never heard any more from the company. They just brushed me off. I worked my ass off at this company. In fact, as much as I didn't like my supervisor, I did my job. In fact, I did stuff that the college appreciated way more than anything she did. She was lazy, she was rude, she held a grudge like a little girl. And she wasn't the brightest, but you know what? Fuck all that. I did my job. And because of her grudge, I got fired. So anyway, and I want to say something else. 1 week later, she fired someone I had recommended for that job. Suspicious. But it doesn't matter. As soon as I left the job, she started giving this person I recommended hell. Complete hell. And then within a week after I got fired, she got fired. So anyway. All this is just getting to me. I end up trying to draw some unemployment, partial unemployment, because I still have my part-time job. And I try and do partial unemployment, and of course unemployment's like, well, we see that you were fired, we have to do an investigation now. I said, okay, whatever. So that takes a while. I finally get what they call like basically an interview set up to where they give you a phone call and ask you the circumstances of why you got fired, or why you left the company. So I talked to this guy on my phone interview and talk about a rude son of a bitch. He kept trying to push me to, go faster and faster so he could finish up the interview. I barely got to say any part of my side of the story. He kept saying, well, these interviews are supposed to be no more than 10 minutes long. I was like, well, you're not the one having to pay bills right now. Like, I literally lost a full-time job, and I'm falling behind on my bills. I did the best I could to explain the situation, and, like I said, he was rude to me. He pushed me along. I didn't get to do all the details. Whatever. So anyway, do the interview, and a few days later I get a letter saying that they found that I deserve to be fired based on evidence provided by the company. That's a funny story. And I will tell you one thing right now, guys. If you ever have to fight for unemployment, they will side with the company most of the time. So they say that I can try and appeal the decision, which of course I did. And this whole time I'm being stressed. Like, I've never been fired, I've never been wrote up, and it's just getting to me because I know the kind of worker I am, and then this stuff happens. I end up getting further and further behind on my bills, which is just stressing me out. And then I'm sorry, guys. So the next big thing that happens is my part-time job. Now, I will say that this is a little bit of my fault, but the fact that the company cannot freaking understand this situation is ridiculous. So, because of all this stuff, I can't get unemployment. I can't get my partial unemployment. I'm falling behind in my bills. I'm stressed, like, all the time, because I don't know what to do. So I'd worked at this part-time job alongside a full-time job for 8 months now. Maybe a little more. I don't know. And basically what I did at the part-time job is I would most of the time stock, but sometimes I was on cash register. Well, I go in to clock in one night, and I find out that someone had called in, so I'm on cash register. I was like, okay, no problem. The first customer I get, oh boy, she is a royal pain in the ass and very bitchy. Basically, she had some coupons that wasn't working. And it would have to be the very first customer of the night that I would get. Anyway, she has some coupons. Like, I'll just straight up, I should be able to say. Basically, I worked at the dollar store as my part-time job. She had a coupon for $3 off if you spend $15 or more before tax, right? She had that coupon, and then she had 2 manufacturer coupons. The manufacturer coupons don't work at first, and she's already starting to get pissy. I call my manager fixes it, right? She gets her coupons to work, but then her $3 coupon doesn't work, and she starts to get pissy. and disrespectful. And, you know, the whole time, my manager and me is trying to explain why the $3 coupon isn't working. Because her manufacturer coupons took off enough to where it wasn't $15 anymore. Remember, the store coupon was $3 off if you spend $15 or more before tax. The way the system did it is the manufacturer coupons dropped her below $15. She would not listen to us whatsoever. We kept trying to nicely explain to her what was going on. Customers, if you ever work in retail, you'll understand. So anyway, we try and explain it to her. She's not listening. She starts being aggressive towards us, basically calling me stupid, calling my manager stupid, saying that we're trying to cheat her, that we're just trying to, screw her out of money. And I'm like, I used to work 2 jobs. Trust me, I understand why people have to use coupons. I understand that. So she's not listening. And the thing is, she only had to spend, I think, I can't remember. I want to say like around 70 cents more, and she would hit the $15 threshold. But that wasn't good enough. She was pissed off that it wasn't working. And, she's not listening. The line starts to get longer and longer, because as me and my manager is dealing with this woman, people are getting in line. And I can't jump on another register, and my manager can't because she's dealing with a customer. We're being talked down to. And finally, the line's about 12 people long. They're getting pissed off. And I lose it a little bit, right? Because this whole time she had talked down to us, saying we're cheating her, won't listen to us how we can solve the problem. She doesn't understand the fact that if my manager just changes stuff in the system, that can get us fired. Because, the corporate office could very well be like, why are you giving a discount when the discount's not allowed? People don't understand that. Actually, I wouldn't mind doing a video about more on retail at some point. But basically, so anyway, she's rude, whatever. There's customers. I've been stressed out over this stuff that's going on in my life. And I basically say, I'm like, are you really fucking holding up the line for one coupon? I was like, are you really doing that? And yeah, I'll admit it. I messed up and I said the F word. I said, but that's not like me. It's just ridiculous. She ends up losing it, and she's like, how dare you talk to me that way? How dare you? And that's something in retail. I'll give you a brief thing. If you work in retail, don't expect the company to ever have your back. Basically, you're not allowed to stand up for yourself. You're not allowed to cuss at all. You're not allowed to get aggravated. But a customer can do any fucking thing they want to you. Anything. And it don't matter. But yeah, I will admit, I messed up. I said, are you fucking really holding up the line for one coupon? She gets pissed off, and I'm like, she's like, call me an asshole, saying, how dare me? And I'm like, I'm not being a freaking asshole. I'm like, we're trying to work with you. You're not listening. You're being very difficult. It's like the world doesn't revolve around you. Whatever. This goes on for a little bit. She ends up leaving. My manager says, she's like, are you going to be okay? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, well, I'll probably have you go in the back and cool off. So anyway, next thing I know, the woman's husband comes in and says, are you the son of a bitch that's fucking pointing your finger in my wife's face and fucking yelling at her and cussing at her? And I was like, okay, first of all, I get it. She's your wife. You're going to side with her. Whatever. But I'm like, I did not raise my voice. I did not point my finger. I wasn't directly cussing at her either. I'm like, she's lying. And the guy, of course, isn't listening because he's being some fucking asshole. He's getting aggressive. He's starting, cussing me, yelling at me. He tries to end up ends up trying to jump over the counter and like punch me, whatever. He ends up leaving. The cops get called, whatever. The cops talk to me. They understand that it was the people, causing the problem. So anyway, I end up having to fill a statement out for my assistant manager. My side of the story, everything. I end up filling 6 pages worth because I gave every detail. I apologized to my assistant manager. My store manager ended up having to come in that night as well. Talked to her, apologized. I told her kind of what was going on with that I lost my job at the main company, my full-time job I lost. And my store manager, my assistant manager, especially my store manager, she's the sweetest person in the world. She had worked so much with me to make sure I could do both jobs. Anyway, I apologize. I talked to both of them for a while. And then she's like, I'm sorry, I have to send you home until further notice. So, I go home. And I don't hear back from her for a week. Oh, I should mention, the one thing I told her, because dollar store is freaking weird. Store managers don't have any freaking power to speak of. She told me that it would be up to her regional manager. Before I left that night, I asked her just one thing. I'm like, whatever you do, I want to talk to the regional manager and kind of explain what's going on. That's all I want. So like I said, I go home. I don't hear from them for a week. My store manager, she calls me after a week and tells me that I've been fired. I've been let go of. And I asked her, I'm like, I know I messed up, but I've never, been written up. I've always went beyond for freaking customers, even really annoying ones. I'm like, I'm sorry. I messed up. I know that. I'm like, I've been going through some tough stuff here. And I can't say anymore. I'm like, can I at least talk to the regional manager? Well, she basically said the regional manager doesn't want to talk to me. It was final. I was like, so I don't even get to tell my side of the story. I highly doubt the 6 pages I wrote out. I highly doubt she read that. Whatever. My store manager, she's really sweet. She told the regional manager she didn't want to fire me, that I wasn't acting like myself. And I wasn't. Because of the stuff that was happening with the other company. So, I got fired from my second job. And you know what? Some people just don't understand. I was going through so much stuff. So, it doesn't matter how hard you work. Like, you're so replaceable. It's not even funny. So I lost my job, right? So now I have no income whatsoever. No unemployment, nothing. I'm still fine on unemployment right now. I end up getting my car repossessed. So I have nothing but debt right now. And no vehicle. Nothing. I have nothing. It's been a while since I got fired at the dollar store. And I'm working to get my unemployment. I finally got a second interview set up, and I'm trying to request an in-person interview because I would rather talk to someone in person, because like I said the last time I did a phone interview, the guy didn't listen to me. And I should also mention that other person I was telling you guys about that got fired from the same company, she has her unemployment. So I have a feeling the company's trying to really screw me over, and it's a complete joke. I didn't even deserve to get fired. Dollar store, I will admit I messed up. I should have cussed, but at the same time, how is it fair that you can be cussed at, you can be talked down to by customers, but you're not allowed to stand up for yourself? And not only was I going through all this shit, but then I had a bitchy customer who just wanted to be an asshole to me. So anyway, like I said, guys, I'm so sorry I haven't been uploading stuff after getting fired from the dollar store and still having to try and fix unemployment, trying to figure out how the hell what I'm going to do. I haven't felt like uploading. I've been trying to take care of stuff. I don't know. I'm checking into doing bankruptcy. I'm checking into trying to sue the company, for wrongful termination. And you know what? I honestly believe that the company, even getting fired from Dollar Store, is mostly on the other company's fault. Because someone should not ever be put through that much stress. But whatever. I will take fault with Dollar Store if I have to. That's fine. The other company I didn't deserve at all. So, I know this is really, really long, and I'm so very sorry, guys. I tried to keep it brief, but I had to get this stuff off my chest. I've been going through so much stuff, and I like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do bankruptcy. I don't know even if I can find a lawyer or anyone that will help represent me to try and sue the company. Because if I can, I am 100% suing the company, because I will go after them for losing my car, for all the wages I haven't been able to get, for losing my second job, for slander because the supervisor straight up lied to the company, and unemployment about why I was fired. There's so much details I'm not going to go into, guys, but trust me, if I can find how to do it, I have so much evidence against this fucking company, it's not even funny, and I have multiple workers that would be willing to side with me. So, and on the unemployment, if I can get an in-person interview, I'm going to bring 2 people with me that can verify, and hopefully I can get my unemployment, because they'll have to back pay me. So, I know this is really long, and I know most people probably didn't stay this whole time to watch it, but if you did, thank you guys so much. And, you know, thank you for the support. Even if it's just watching this is going, it helps. I'm hoping to get this solved. I want to do videos like gaming and stuff. I want to make money from that. And I'm also checking into custom t-shirts. I'll be damned if I go back to a regular job unless I have to. I'm going to do my damnedest to be self-employed. Because, you know, I'm so sick and tired of people treating you a certain way, or like you being expendable for one mess up. Anyway, I will let you guys go for now. If you have any questions, you can, you know, put in the comments and let me know. In the About section of my YouTube page, there is a Gmail set up just for fans, like, or whatnot. So if you want to even send me Gmail on that, don't use the business one, please, but use the fan-based one. I will try and get back to you guys. Like I said, I know I haven't had anything on my channel, but I am hoping very soon to rectify it, maybe in the next couple days. I'm starting to get a little bit back into wanting to do it. It's, like I said, it's just been rough on me. I've been trying to figure out a bunch of stuff. But if you guys want to help support me, I have stuff in the About section as well. PayPal, Patreon, whatever. I could really use some help right now. So, anyway, love you guys very much. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for being a part of the community. I'm going to let you guys have a good one, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.